my sleepy nights. Tonight, we have a collection of Gotham Radio.
You're listening to WGCR, Gotham City Radio, the voice of Gotham since 1945. Broadcasting from our studios in the historic Wayne Tower. With our host, Vincent Vox Valentine. The time is midnight.
Good evening, Gotham. This is Vincent Vox Valentine, and you're listening to Midnight in Gotham. It's another turbulent night in our beloved concrete jungle. Current temperature is 48 degrees with a fog rolling in from Gotham Harbor that even Batman couldn't see through. Gotham City Police Department scanners are reporting the usual chaos. A break-in at the docks, suspicious activity around Arkham, and rumors of an escaped exhibit from the Gotham Zoo. Just another Tuesday, in other words. Let's see here. We're getting reports of minor power fluctuations in the Narrows. But that's about as newsworthy as saying the Gotham Knights lost again. Our lines are open for the night owls, insomniacs, and anyone trying to avoid whatever costume is causing havoc tonight. Let's see here. Gotham, line 1, you're on the air.
Is this thing on? Yeah, this is Max. I drive a cab out of Burnley.
Yeah, you're on the air, Max. What's keeping you up tonight?
Yeah, Vox, so, just finished my shift and had to call in about this crazy fair. Had to drive all the way around Crime Alley because some bat-shaped smoke bomb blocking the road, but, you know, that ain't why I'm calling. The passenger I dropped off at the Gotham Royal Hotel, he left behind this purple briefcase. It's making, like, weird laughing noises.
Laughing briefcase? That sounds concerning.
Listen, Vox, I've been driving this cab for, I don't know, probably about 15 years in this crazy city. I've had, penguins, goons in my back seat. I once gave Commissioner Gordon a free ride when his car broke down. I even had a fare who I swear was Clayface because he looked different every time I checked my mirror. But this briefcase thing, I ain't touching it. You're not gonna catch me touching it. I left it on the curb outside the police department and put a note on it saying found property. Yeah, that's the right thing to do, right?
You left a suspicious laughing briefcase on the sidewalk outside the headquarters. Perhaps calling the bomb squad might have been more appropriate.
Yeah. Well, I'm not getting involved in supervillain business again. You hear me? Last time I found something weird, my cab smelled like fear gas for a month. Anyway, I gotta get out of here.
And that, listeners, is the Gotham spirit. Encounter something potentially deadly, then drop it off for someone else to deal with. And move on with your night. If you're near the police department headquarters, maybe take the long way home tonight. Gotham, line 2, you're on the air.
Hello, Vincent. Martin Doherty here. I'm owner of 24-hour Needs in the Diamond District.
The baker that never sleeps. How's business tonight, Martin?
Oh, booming. Bacon's booming. As usual, whenever something's brewing in Gotham, I've been keeping track for 20 years now. And there's a direct correlation between villain activity and pastry sales. People stress eat when they're nervous, Vincent.
Yeah, it's an interesting theory. So, what's the pastry-based forecast for tonight?
Well, I've sold out of my dark chocolate eclairs by 10 p.m., which usually signals something big is coming. Last time that happened was during the Joker's parade fiasco. But what's really interesting, right? What's really interesting here? Now, I had a customer order 3 dozen green frosted cupcakes yesterday. He said they were for a puzzle-themed party. Now, I should have known something was up.
Green frosting, you say? That's, interesting timing.
Gotham might be crazy, Vox, but its stomach is predictable. You mark my words. Mark these words. Whenever my cranberry scones sell out before noon, there's always a bank robbery within 24 hours. It's science at this stage.
Well, I'll alert GCPD to monitor your display case for criminal patterns. Stay safe, Martin. Speaking of things brewing, we're getting multiple reports now of power outages spreading beyond the Narrows into the East End. Gotham Power and Light claims it's a temporary grid adjustment. But anyone who's lived in this city longer than a week knows that nothing is ever that simple in Gotham. Stay tuned for updates as we track this developing situation. While we wait for GP and all to get their act together, let's take our first sponsor break of the night. We'll be back in a couple of moments.
Do your security cameras keep getting mysteriously disabled? Tired of waking up to find your safe cracked open and your valuables replaced with riddles?
Wayne Enterprises home security systems utilize cutting-edge technology developed for Gotham's unique challenges. Our thermal motion detection can identify threats before they enter your property, while our silent alarm connects directly to GCPD dispatch.
Wayne Enterprises home security. Because in Gotham, it's not paranoia if they're really after you.
And we're back. It's 12:15 a.m. and time for our nightly Batwatch update. So far, we've had 3 confirmed sightings in the East End before the blackout hit that district. A caller from the Bowery reports what might have been the Batmobile speeding north toward the financial district approximately 30 minutes ago. Though it could have just been one of Bruce Wayne's sports cars on a late-night joyride. Gotham City Police Department aviation units are reporting something large and bat-shaped briefly interrupting their searchlight patterns over Gotham Harbor. As always, citizens are reminded that vigilantism is technically illegal in Gotham City, even for those with fancy cars and gadgets. Okay, let's see here. Maybe we should have another call. Gotham Line 3, you're live.
This is Officer Jenkins, badge number 4402, calling for my patrol car in the East End.
Officer Jenkins, how are things looking out there with the blackout?
Not great, Valentine. Traffic lights are out across the East End, parts of the Bowery now. We've got units directing traffic at major intersections, but the chaos, it's out there. Something weird, though. We've noticed unusual graffiti appearing on junction boxes just before each neighborhood loses power.
Graffiti? Now, what kind of graffiti, officer?
Green question marks, spray painted. Real quick job, but they weren't there earlier today during patrol, and then boom, 20 minutes later, that whole block goes dark.
Green question marks? Are you thinking what I'm thinking, officer?
Look, I'm not authorized to speculate on air about that. Sorry, gotta go. Incident at 4th and Bryant.
Green question marks and strategic blackouts. I don't think you need a detective's badge to connect those dots. Gotham Line 4, you're live across the city.
Hey, Valentine. It's Big Mike from O'Malley Sports Bar in Burnley. Can you believe this blackout happened right when Harrison was about to kick the winning field goal? 3 hours of watching the Knights getting pummeled, and then right when they try to redeem themselves, boom! Total darkness!
It sounds like the blackout might have saved you from further disappointment, Mike.
Are you kidding me? This is the Knights season in a nutshell. They build up your hopes just enough before the universe intervenes to crush your dreams. I've been a season ticket holder for 18 years. What do I have to show for it? High blood pressure and a drawer full of maybe next year merchandise.
I sense this goes deeper than tonight's game.
You know what? I'm starting to think this blackout is a mercy killing for that game. Yeah. Though I bet you anything Harrison would have missed that kick anyway. He couldn't kick the broadside of Arkham's Asylum this season.
While I appreciate your detailed analysis of the Knights' defensive problems, we should probably get back to the citywide emergency. Keep the faith, Mike. Gotham sports fans, where hope springs eternal and disappointment is the only consistent player. Let's move on here. Gotham Line 5. You're live on the air.
Evening, Valentine. Captain Reynolds of the Gotham Water Taxi. Yeah, we're currently sitting dead in the water between the mainland and the East Side docks.
Well, that sounds like a precarious situation, Captain. How many passengers have you got on board?
About 30 souls on board here. Engines are fine, but navigation's down with the power outage. Using old school methods. Stars and landmark lights. But with most of the shoreline dark, it's slowly glowing. 25 years on these waters. I've never seen Gotham this dark. It's just eerie. And, have you got any unusual activity on the harbor tonight? That's the thing. Coast Guard vessels were unusually active about an hour before the blackout. Seemed to be searching for something, you know? Then they all suddenly pulled back to base just minutes before the first outage. Almost, like they knew what was coming.
That is interesting timing. Well, stay safe out there, Captain.
Always do. Though if any listeners happen to be at the East Side docks with flashlights, some illumination might be appreciated.
If you're near the East Side docks with a flashlight or two to spare, Captain Reynolds and his passengers could use some guidance. Now, let's take a quick commercial break.
Are you tired of replacing your car after every villain attack?
Gotham Motors presents the Urban Survivor Edition, featuring reinforced chassis, bulletproof glass, acid-resistant paint, and explosive-resistant gas tanks. Our exclusive rogue-resistant technology means you'll still have transportation when the chaos ends.
Gotham Motors Urban Survivor. Drive home safe, even when the city goes to hell.
And we're back. Now, we're getting reports that the blackout has spread to 4 neighborhoods across eastern Gotham. GP&L's official statement claims they're, quote, working on the issue, but a source inside the company tells me they have no idea what's causing the systematic outages. I've been marking the affected areas on a map, and, well, there seems to be a pattern forming. All right, you're phoning on stop tonight. Let's take another caller. Line 6. You're live across Gotham.
Hello? Hello, Vox? Vox? Can you hear me? This is Steve Bowden. I'm the Sir Knight mascot for the Gotham Knights.
Yeah, I can just about hear you, though you sound muffled. You're the mascot for the Gotham Knights? What's going on, Sir Knight, if I should call you that?
I'm in serious trouble, man. I was practicing my routine at the stadium when the power went out, and the costume head has an electronic release mechanism, and now it's jammed. I'm stuck in this stupid knight outfit. I'm complete with the giant foam sword and shield.
So you're wandering the streets of Gotham during a blackout dressed as a medieval knight?
Yes, that's exactly right. And some people are running away screaming, or some of them are asking for my autograph. Some kid asked if I was Batman's new sidekick, Nightwing or something. But worse, there's a patrol car just slowed down, and the officers are eyeing me suspiciously. Yeah, in this city, they probably think I'm some new villain, probably called like the Medieval Menace or something.
Yeah, that's actually a valid concern in Gotham.
I've tried explaining, but my voice is muffled by this knight's helmet, so I'll probably even sound more suspicious, I guess. I'm considering just walking into the police department, but this giant sword, it's foam, but they might not realize that in the dark, Oh no, I'm getting chased again. They're coming back. What do I do?
Stay calm. Maybe try putting the sword down and waving in a friendly, non-threatening manner. Or perhaps find a well-lit area where they can clearly see it's a sports mascot costume.
All right, thanks, Fox. I gotta go, because if I get shot again because of this stupid job, my wife is gonna kill me. Again.
And thus begins the tragic origin story of Gotham's newest vigilante, Sir Knight. Stay tuned for updates on Sir Knight's fate. Okay, let's see here. Line 7, you're on the air.
Hello, young man. Is this the radio? Am I on the wireless?
Yes, ma'am, you're on air. Who am I speaking with?
This is Ethel Pembroke, age 103. Calling from my apartment in the Bowery. I've been in Gotham since before your parents were born, I'd wager.
I'm sure you've seen quite a lot of Gotham history, Miss Pembroke.
This blackout is nothing. You should have seen what the Penguin did to the subway system back in '93. Flooded the whole thing with train seals. Took weeks to get the fish smell out of the tunnels. Of course, there was nothing compared to the winter of '77. The power was out for 2 weeks. And some vigilante was delivering pizza with surprise boxes.
I don't recall reading about that incident.
Yeah, of course you don't. The media covered it up. Just like they're covering everything else up. I think Bruce Wayne is secretly funding Batman. It's obvious if you think about it. They're both rich. They both have weird hobbies.
Well, those are interesting theories, Miss Pembroke.
Did I ever tell you about the time the Joker came over for tea at my house? This was before the chemical accident, of course. Such a nice young man. Kind of a terrible taste in jokes, but all was too dark for my liking. I told him nobody wants to hear death jokes over crumpets.
I think we have another caller coming through here.
Don't you hang up on me, young man. I haven't told you about the secret tunnels under Arkham that lead directly to City Hall.
Thank you for that historical perspective, Miss Pembroke. Gotham Line 8. You're live across Gotham.
Hi, Vox. This is Linda from Otisburg. I'm stuck walking home with my 3 kids because our car won't start, and there are no taxis running with the traffic lights being out. This city. I swear to God.
That sounds very challenging, Linda. How are the kids holding up?
The problem isn't the walking, it's the questions. Tommy, stop pulling your sister's hair. Sorry about that. My 7-year-old is convinced Batman caused the blackout to catch bad guys, and now he wants to know why Batman doesn't just turn the lights back on when he's done.
Mom, ask the radio man if Batman can see in the dark. Does he have night vision?
See what I mean? How do you explain to your children that the city they live in has so many supervillains that we have emergency blackout protocols, or that sometimes the police are as scared as we are? It's hard enough raising kids in Gotham without having to... Tommy, get down from there! That's not a jungle gym, it's a fire escape.
Challenges of Gotham parenting. Perhaps this is why so many of our Cape Crusaders were raised elsewhere.
I swear, if I survive raising 3 kids in this city, I deserve a cape of my own. Gotta go. My youngest just spotted what he thinks is the bat signal, but it's probably just a searchlight. Last thing I need is him running toward trouble. Tommy, stop!
Safe travels, Linda. Remember, the police department has set up emergency stations at major intersections if you need assistance. Yeah, the true heroes of Gotham. Parents trying to raise their normal children in a decidedly abnormal city. Let's take another brief commercial break. We'll be back after this.
Are you feeling like the Gotham blues got you down?
Try Cheer Up Soda, the bubbly beverage with a special ingredient that puts a smile on your face. Our patented formula has been approved by our very own scientists as mostly non-toxic and unlikely to cause permanent personality changes.
Cheer Up Soda. When life in Gotham gets grim, just drink it all in.
Warning, may cause uncontrollable laughter, mood swings, and in rare cases, a complete psychotic breakdown. Not available within 500 yards of Arkham Asylum by court order.
And we're back, and we have an update. 7 neighborhoods now affected by the blackout. And, well, I've been plotting them out on a map here in the studio. I don't want to jump to conclusions, but the pattern is starting to look suspiciously like a question mark across the city, combined with Officer Jenkins' report about the green question marks appearing on junction boxes. I think we all know who might be behind this. Let's go to line 9. You're on the air.
Fox. This is Derek from Gotham Paranormal Investigators. I'm currently in the old Gotham district, and you won't believe the readings I'm getting on the EMF detector.
Well, let me guess, the ghost of Solomon Wayne is restless tonight.
How did you know? The blackout has stirred up supernatural activity all across the historical district. My theory is that power outages thin the veil between dimensions, allowing spectral entities to manifest more easily.
Or perhaps your equipment is picking up unusual electrical activity related to the blackout?
That's what the skeptics always say. But explain this, okay? I started getting these, unusual readings about 10 minutes before the power went out in this district. Almost like something was draining the energy or something. Now I keep hearing whispers about puzzles and riddles whenever I pass certain buildings.
Whispers about riddles? Have you considered that might be actual people discussing the likely perpetrator of tonight's blackout?
Nonsense. The ghost of Solomon Wayne is known to speak in riddles. It's all documented in my self-published ebook, Gotham's Hunted Elite. Wait, what's that shadow? Oh God, sorry. I thought I saw something. Turned out to be a stray cat, but it was a very ghostly cat, if you know what I mean.
I'm not sure I do, Derek, but stay safe out there, hunting your spectral felines. Ghost hunters of Gotham. Finding the supernatural in a city where the regular happenings are strange enough. Gotham line 10. Let's hear you.
Good evening, Mr. Valentine. This is Dr. Samuel Thorne, professor of psychology at Gotham University.
Dr. Thorne, a pleasure to have academia joining us. What's your take on tonight's blackout?
The blackout is merely a symptom of a greater disease plaguing our city. What nobody wants to admit is that Batman creates these lunatics. Before the Bat, we had regular crime, drug dealers, mob bosses, corruption. Now, clowns, riddle-obsessed hackers, people dressed as birds terrorizing our city.
Playing devil's advocate here, Doctor. Wasn't Gotham already a magnet for the unusual before Batman appeared?
Not like this. He's a psychological contagion, causing mass delusion. These villains are just responding to his theatrical vigilantism with their own costumes and gimmicks. If Batman disappeared tomorrow, Gotham would be safer within a month. Mark my words, Vincent. Mark these words.
Very interesting theory, Doctor. I'm sure that the police department would love to test it if they could ever actually catch Batman.
My new book explores this in depth. Masks of Madness, Gotham's vigilante problem. Available next month from Gotham University Press.
Ah, yes. Now we get to the book promotion. Thanks for your insight, Doctor. Stay safe in the blackout. The eternal debate of Gotham City. Is Batman a solution or part of the problem? Let's continue here. Let's see. Gotham, line 11. You're on the air.
Hello? Mr. Radio Man? Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, young caller. Who am I speaking with?
I can't tell you my real name. It's a secret. But I'm Batman.
The Batman? On my humble radio show, I'm honored, sir. Shouldn't you be out stopping the Riddler's blackout scheme right now?
I'm taking a short break. Yeah. Crime fighting gets me pretty tired and sleepy, you know? But, I'll be back out there soon. My bat car just needs to, recharge its batteries.
I see. And, how old might the, Cape Crusader be these days?
I'm 8 3/4. I mean, I'm like 30-something. Yeah, definitely a grown-up. Man. Boy, man.
Of course, and, does Batman's guardian know he's up past bedtime making calls?
I snuck the phone under my covers. I mean, I don't have a guardian. Because, I'm Batman.
Timmy? Who are you talking to? Past your bedtime.
Oh, I gotta go. Because crime never sleeps, and neither does Batman.
Timmy, where the hell's the phone?
Well, listeners, you heard it here first. Batman is actually an 8-year-old with a strict bedtime. Who knew? Perhaps he'll save us all from the Riddler after he finishes his homework. Gotham, line 12. Who's calling?
Hello, Valentine. This is Stefano. Owner of Stefano's Genuine Italian on the east side.
Ah, Stefano's. Rumored to be a favorite dining spot for certain, family-orientated business enterprises in Gotham.
Hey, these are respectable rumors, huh? We serve the best veal piccata in the city. But I'm not calling about my restaurant's distinguished clientele, no. I'm calling because, the health inspector was supposed to come today, but He canceled because of this blackout.
Well, I'm sorry to hear about the scheduling inconvenience.
Yes, it's very inconvenient. I was here all day waiting for him. I've been in my restaurant all day. Not once did I leave. Many witnesses saw me here all day, especially between 2 and 4 p.m. when the bank across town was robbed. I was definitely here in my restaurant.
That's, oddly specific, Stefano.
I'm just establishing facts, Vincent. Also, nothing unusual happened in my back room today. No meetings, no nothing. Just a regular restaurant business. Anyone says they heard the gunshots, it was just pots falling, very loud pots.
Well, thanks for that completely unsuspicious update, Stefano. I'm sure the GCPD appreciates you volunteering your whereabouts unprompted.
I just said, I'm an honest guy. I'm an honest businessman caught in this blackout like everyone else. And anyone who says different will be given a negative Yelp review.
The restaurant business in Gotham, where the special of the day is plausible deniability. Let's move on to our blackout update here. Financial District is now the latest area to lose power, including the Wayne Enterprises headquarters, though reports indicate our main building still has lights thanks to emergency generators. The pattern on my map now is undeniably a question mark. Mostly across eastern Gotham. We're getting word that the GCPD is mobilizing additional units toward the Financial District. Let's check in here. We have a call through from an officer in the GCPD unit. Hello, officer.
This is Officer Blake with GCPD. Just wanted to let your listeners know we've apprehended a very suspicious night figure outside the stadium. Initially approached with caution, but we've confirmed it's just the Knights mascot stuck in his costume. We're attempting to remove the head now.
Thank you. I kept trying to tell people I'm not a supervillain.
Oh, I gotta say, the medieval menace would fit right in with Gotham's Rogues Gallery. We're giving him a ride home once we get this sorted.
Thank you, Officer Blake, for that update on what could have been Gotham's newest costume character. Now, let's go to line 13. Who's calling?
Yeah, this is Frank, the doorman at the Gotham Royal. Power's been out for about 20 minutes in this district.
Frank, how are things at one of Gotham's premier hotels during a blackout?
Backup generators kicked in for the elevators and lobby. But, the rest is running on emergency lighting. Got 3 society parties going on upstairs in the dark. But, here's the weird part. Got a delivery about an hour ago. Okay? A gift basket for Bruce Wayne's penthouse.
Let me guess. Mr. Wayne isn't actually staying there tonight?
Bingo. Haven't seen him in weeks, but, this fancy basket shows up with a green ribbon and a card with a question mark. I called security to check it out. When they opened it, nothing but a toy bat and an hourglass inside. Then all the power goes out exactly when the sand runs out. Coincidence? I don't think so.
Sounds like someone's sending Mr. Wayne a message. Or perhaps Batman, if you believe about their connection.
All I know is, every time something weird happens in this city, my shift gets extended. I've been here since noon. Probably won't get home until dawn now.
The unsung heroes of Gotham. Service workers who stay at their posts, even during supervillain attacks. Stay safe out there, Frank. The frontline workers of Gotham deserve hazard pay on a nightly basis. Line 14. You're on the air.
Good evening, Vox. I can't believe I made it onto the show. This is Madison from Gotham After Dark Walking Tours. Just wanted to say the blackout is actually amazing for business.
You're still running tours during a citywide emergency?
Are you kidding? I've got a group of 20 tourists who paid extra for the authentic Gotham crisis experience. They're loving it, man. We're doing villains and vigilantes route, and the darkness adds such ambience. I just tell them all the power outages are part of the tour package.
That seems potentially dangerous.
Oh, please, these tourists are from Iowa. They think this is thrilling. I just point at random shadows and say, that might be Batman. And they take a dozen photos. I've been filling them in on Riddler's past schemes while we walk. Did you know that during the Trophy Hunter case of 2018, he actually... Oh, hang on. Hang on, I've got to go. I think we saw Catwoman up on that rooftop, or possibly just a regular cat. Either way, it's a great photo op.
Madison, perhaps consider concluding your tour at the nearest GCPD emergency station. Just a thought. Okay, Gotham, line 15. You're on the air.
Good evening, Valentine. This is Maurice Chesterfield, General Manager of the Iceberg Lounge.
The famous nightclub? Penguin's famous nightclub? I'm surprised you have time to call during such a busy night.
On the contrary, we're experiencing a wonderful uptick in business thanks to the blackout. I'm just calling to let your listeners know that the Iceberg Lounge is fully operational thanks to our private generators. In fact, Mr. Cobblepot has authorized me to offer a special blackout cocktail at half price for the remainder of the evening.
How enterprising, and I assume the establishment remains completely legitimate despite its owner's colorful history.
The Iceberg Lounge is a fully licensed entertainment venue, operating within all applicable Gotham City ordinances. Though, I should mention, I suppose, that our exclusive VIP section downstairs is particularly welcoming tonight for guests seeking more private entertainment options.
By which you mean...
high-stakes card games. What else would I be referring to? Do stop by if you're in the area, Mr. Valentine. Or Vox, is that what they call you on here? The first drink is complimentary for media personalities like yourself.
I'll keep that in mind should I find myself in the vicinity of known mob hangouts during a supervillain attack. The enterprising spirit of Gotham's nightlife, where emergencies are just marketing opportunities. Let me check with our news desk for updates on the situation. Some breaking news. I'm receiving word that GCPD has confirmed activity at Wayne Enterprises, Applied Sciences Division. Let's go to Detective Montoya from Major Crimes, who's on the scene. Detective, you're on the air.
Valentine, I can confirm that the The blackout was engineered by the Riddler as a diversion for a break-in attempt at Wayne Enterprises. The pattern of outages was indeed meant to form a question mark across the city. It's his signature.
Any indication what he was after at Wayne Enterprises?
We believe he was targeting a experimental quantum encryption device being developed by Wayne Tech. Officers responded to a security alert and apprehended him at the scene. Power company technicians are already working to restore electricity to affected neighborhoods.
Is there any truth to reports that Batman was involved here?
GCPD has no official comment on any vigilante involvement. The department is fully capable of handling these situations without masked assistance.
Of course, Detective. Always good to hear from Gotham's finest. Keep up the good work. And there you have it, listeners. The Riddler's latest scheme foiled. And power should be running to your neighborhood soon. All that drama just for Wayne Tech devices. Though in my experience, anything the Riddler goes after tends to be more significant than it first appears. Let's get back to your calls here. Line 16, you're on the air.
Valentine, darling. This is Veronica Wellington Pierce, calling from the Gotham Museum Charity Gala.
Miss Wellington Pierce, how's the gala going during the blackout?
It's an absolute disaster. We're raising money for an orphan children or homeless puppies or whatever, and suddenly we're all in the dark. Do you have any idea how difficult it is to elevate diamond necklaces in emergency lighting? I nearly complimented Cecilia Davenport on her cubic zirconia.
Truly a catastrophe of epic proportions.
And don't get me started on the elevator situation. I had to walk down 14 flights of stairs. In my heels. My personal trainer is going to hear about this tomorrow. The only saving grace was that Bruce Wayne's donation cleared before the power went out, though, as usual, the man himself was nowhere to be found. Probably off on another yachting emergency or whatever excuse his people gave this time.
The trials of Gotham's elite never ceases to amaze. Thank you for that perspective from the upper echelons of society.
If you speak with that Riddler person, do tell him the Wellington Pierces do not appreciate having our evening ruined. If he must commit crimes, perhaps he could do so during business hours like a civilized person.
The 1% of Gotham. The real tragedy of a citywide criminal attack is having to walk downstairs in designer shoes. Gotham, line 17. You're live.
Hello? Am I on?
You're on the air. Who am I speaking with?
Oh, this is Margaret, night shift nurse at Arkham. I shouldn't be calling, but I thought your listeners would want to know. We're preparing a cell for a special green-suited guest tonight.
I imagine Arkham staff are quite familiar with the check-in procedure for the Riddler by now.
Oh, we have his usual cell ready. But I'm calling because the other inmates are getting worked up about his arrival. They always do when one of the celebrities comes in. I was wondering if you could play some soothing music to calm the other patients?
I'd be happy to accommodate Arkham's residents. Any particular requests?
Maybe like nothing with riddles or puzzles in the lyrics, please. And definitely no comedy. The clown one hasn't stopped laughing since the blackout began. It's giving everyone the creeps.
Well, I'll find something appropriately soothing. Thanks for the call, Margaret. Stay safe out there. It's a fascinating glimpse into Arkham's operations during a crisis. I'll be sure to select some calming music for the post-show playlist. Alright, let's get one final call in here tonight. Comm line 18, you're on the air.
Evening, Valentine. Marty here. I run the hot dog cart outside City Hall. I'm in there 30 years. I've seen it all.
True Gotham institution. How's the business during the blackout, Marty?
Oh, it's booming. The cops, emergency workers, journalists, they all gotta eat. But, that ain't why I'm calling. About an hour before the blackout, I had this customer's skinny eye. Kinda twitchy. He was wearing a kind of bowler hat. Could have been green, I think.
That sounds, quite distinctive.
Yeah. He ordered a hot dog. Exactly 17 pickle slices, counted them out loud. Then he asked me, just the weirdest question. He said, what's black and green and confuses people? I told him I don't do riddles, just hot dogs. You know what he did then?
He'll leave you a big tip?
No. He just smiled and said, a traffic light during a power outage. Then he laughed and walked off. 40 minutes later, boom, blackout hits downtown. That's when I started to connect the dots, you know.
You had a pre-blackout encounter with the Riddler himself?
Sure looks that way. Guy even paid with a $1 bill that had a question mark on. He was kind of drawn on Washington's forehead. I should have known something was up. 30 years in this city, and you learn to spot the crazies. But sometimes, they blend in. That's when it's really scary, when they blend in.
The random encounters of Gotham street life. Thanks for sharing, Marty.
No problem. Oh, and if any police officers are listening, I've still got that dollar as evidence. And I'm raising prices tomorrow. Hazard pay for operating in this nut house of a city.
Before we wrap up tonight's broadcast, let's check in one more time on our favorite trap mascot. Steve? We got the night back on?
Hey, Vox. Just wanted to let you know, I'm safe and sound. Police department finally got the helmet off with some WD-40 and a lot of pulling.
Sir Knight lives to joust another day. How are you getting home?
The officers are giving me a ride, yeah. Officer Blake even suggested I register with GCPD as the night watchman. Like night watchman with a K. If I plan to wear the costume again. Said something about how I'd fit right in with Gotham's vigilante fashion scene.
I can see the headlines now. New hero in town. The medieval menace fights for justice.
Yeah, that's not happening. I'm thinking of a career change, actually. Sports mascot in Gotham is apparently a high-risk profession. Are you guys hiring at the radio station?
I'll put in a good word with management, though I should warn you, radio personalities in Gotham tend to attract their own band of trouble.
On second thought, maybe I'll look into accounting. Thanks for helping, Vox. This night season may be terrible, but at least our fans came through tonight.
Glad to hear you made it out in one piece. See you later. And with that uplifting resolution to our mascot crisis, we approach the end of our broadcast. Power is returning to most districts, according to reports, though GP&L estimates complete restoration won't happen until dawn. The question mark that stretched across our city tonight is fading, but as always in Gotham, one mystery solved often leads to another beginning. Was the Riddler after more than just a quantum encryption device? Why target Wayne Enterprises specifically? And was Batman involved in police department's official denial? These questions will have to wait for another night. And tomorrow night we'll have exclusive coverage of the Wayne Foundation Charity Gala, interviews with Arkham staff about their unusual patient intake procedures, and of course more calls from you, the nocturnal citizens who keep Gotham's pulse beating through the darkest hours. This is Vincent Vox Valentine, reminding you that Gotham never sleeps, and neither do I. Stay safe in the shadows, night owls.
You've been listening to Midnight in Gotham with Vincent Vox Valentine, a production of Gotham City Radio, WGCR, broadcasting from Wayne Tower, Gotham City Radio, the voice of Gotham since 1945.
You're listening to WGCR, Gotham City Radio, the voice of Gotham since 1945. Broadcasting tonight from Arkham Asylum. With our host, Vincent Vox Valentine. The time is midnight.
Good evening, Gotham. This is Vincent Vox Valentine, and you're listening to Midnight in Gotham. Tonight's broadcast comes to you from an unprecedented location, the Visitor Center of Arkham Asylum. That's right. Through special arrangement with Wayne Foundation's Mental Health Initiative and Arkham's administration, we've been granted rare access to this infamous facility. Now, I'm right now seated behind the reinforced glass of the visitor area, where tonight I'll be conducting interviews with some of Gotham's most notorious residents. The room I'm in is cold, clinical. Institutional green walls, fluorescent lighting that casts everyone in a sickly pallor, and there are, thankfully, security cameras monitoring every angle. There's a ever-present hum of the building's ancient ventilation system, occasionally punctuated by distant sounds that, well, I'd rather not speculate about. As I mentioned earlier, we've arranged interviews with, several high-profile inmates. But I've been assured that our lineup includes the man himself, the Clown Prince of Crime, scheduled as our final guest of the evening. Current temperature outside is pretty cold, with a storm front moving in from Gotham Harbor. Inside these walls, well, the temperature feels considerably colder. I should note that I went through 3 security checkpoints to reach this point, and the number of armed guards visible from my vantage point suggests Arkham isn't taking any chances with tonight's broadcast. I can see at least 4 security personnel in the corridor outside, and I'm told there are more stationed in areas that I can't see from here. Here comes Warden Marcus to kick off our special broadcast now. Warden Reed took over Arkham's administration 2 years ago after the unfortunate incident with the previous director. He's been credited with implementing several reforms to the facility's security protocols and treatment programs. Come on in. Sit down here, Warden.
Good evening, Mr. Valentine. Welcome to Arkham Asylum. I trust your journey here was uneventful.
Thank you for having me, Warden. And yes, though I must say the approach to Arkham is rather foreboding. Especially at night with that storm brewing.
Yes, we've become rather accustomed to Gothic atmosphere. I sometimes wonder if the original architects intended the psychological effect the building has on visitors. It certainly makes an impression.
That it does. I imagine this isn't a typical request for Arkham administration.
Certainly not. But the board felt this broadcast might help the public better understand our rehabilitation efforts. We're more than just cells and straitjackets, contrary to popular depiction. Arkham houses state-of-the-art treatment facilities, and our medical staff includes some of Gotham's finest psychiatric professionals.
And yet the facility has a rather notorious reputation for, shall we say, security concerns.
We house the most psychologically complex and dangerous individuals in Gotham, perhaps in the country. The challenges we face are unique. However, I'm proud to say that under my administration, we've reduced incident rates by 27%.
27, that's a good number. And can you tell our listeners about the security protocols in place tonight?
Yes, gladly. All interviewed inmates will be brought in under guard escort. They'll remain restrained and separated from you by this reinforced partition at all times. And you'll be able to speak to them through the speaker system. The glass you're sitting behind is a specialized polycarbonate composite, bulletproof, virtually unbreakable. We've implemented additional security measures throughout the facility, particularly for our higher risk patients.
I have to ask, Warden, how did my producers manage to secure an interview with the Joker? I was under the impression he rarely accepts visitors.
Yes, well, the Joker specifically requested to be included. When he heard about the broadcast tonight, he's been unusually cooperative lately. We've maintained enhanced supervision, of course, but his psychiatrist noted that this might represent a positive engagement with therapeutic processes.
Well, that sounds surprisingly reasonable for a man known for anything but reason.
Yes, well, we approach all behavioral changes with appropriate caution, but rehabilitation remains our goal, even for those cases most consider hopeless. If you'll excuse me, Mr. Valentine, some routine matters require my attention. My staff will bring in your first interviewee shortly, but please remember to just maintain appropriate distance from the glass at all times.
And there goes Warden Reed, looking rather concerned for a routine matter. Okay. While we wait for our first interview, let's take a call. Gotham Line 1, you're live on the air.
Hello? Is this WGCR?
You're live on the air. Who am I speaking with?
This is, Marco from Sal's Pizzeria. Look, I've got a delivery for the Arkham Asylum Visitor Center, but, security keeps sending me in circles. I've been driving around this place for 20 minutes. The GPS keeps recalculating. All these Gothic buildings look the same in the dark. Is there a service entrance or something I should be looking out for?
You're delivering pizza to Arkham Asylum? At midnight?
Yeah, that sounds weird, right? But we get all kinds of late orders in Gotham. I figured it might be for you radio folks or maybe for the night staff. It's a large pepperoni with, get this, extra laughs, written in special instructions. It's paid for with a credit card under the name J Care. The customer said just to leave it at the front gate if there was any trouble.
I'm sorry, was that J Care? Did you say extra laughs?
Yeah, we get strange requests all the time. Last week, someone ordered a pizza with the pepperoni arranged in a question mark pattern. Gotham, am I right?
Marco, I'd suggest you contact the GCPD immediately, and, whatever you do, don't open that pizza box.
What? Why? Why should...
Well, listeners, it seems we might already be witnessing the unique challenges of Arkham security. Okay, let's take a quick commercial break while the staff prepares our first interview. I can see increased activity in the corridor outside, which suggests they're taking the pizza delivery situation quite seriously. We'll be back after this.
Are you wondering why your car insurance rates keep climbing? It might have something to do with living in a city where monster trucks crash through downtown twice a month. At Mercury Auto Insurance, we understand Gotham's unique driving challenges. Our villain encounter coverage ensures you're protected, whether your car is frozen solid, covered in question marks, or somehow ends up dangling from a gargoyle. Mercury Auto, because in Gotham, parallel parking is the least of your worries.
And ladies and gentlemen, we are back. I'm now looking through the glass at a man named Edward, also known as the Riddler. He's entering the visitor area escorted by 3 guards. They're positioning him on the opposite side of the glass partition, securing his restraints to the chair bolted on the floor. Edward, can you hear me?
How fascinating to see how the other half lives, Valentine. I usually sit on the opposite side of the glass, though my visitors tend to be wearing badges rather than headphones.
For our listeners, Edward is wearing the standard Arkham jumpsuit, though he appears unusually well pressed. Despite incarceration, he maintains a meticulous appearance. Hair perfectly combed, posture impeccable, and eyes that seem to be analyzing everything in the room simultaneously. There's an air of calculated intelligence. It's both impressive and unsettling.
How flattering. Though, I believe your listeners would be more interested in my mind than my appearance. Appearances, after all, can be riddles in themselves, presenting one truth while concealing another.
An appropriate segue into your background, Edward. Before becoming a Riddler, you were a brilliant scientist and software engineer. What led you from that promising career to Arkham Asylum?
A simple question with a complex answer. Intelligence is both a gift and a curse, Valentine. When you see patterns and solutions that others can't, when your mind operates several steps ahead of everyone around you, creates certain isolation. Eventually, I realized that ordinary achievements brought no satisfaction. I needed worthy opponents, worthy puzzles.
And that justified terrorizing Gotham.
Terrorizing is such a simplistic term. I offer challenges, opportunities for growth. Those who can solve my riddles survive and become stronger. Those who can't, well, natural selection has never been gentle.
Let's talk about your recent capture at Wayne Enterprises. You were after a quantum encryption device, correct?
That quantum encryption was merely a distraction. The real puzzle is still unsolved. The encryption device was simply one piece on a much larger board. Chess. Chess. Not checkers. Valentine.
You seem unusually cheerful for someone recently incarcerated.
Let's just say I find myself in an anticipatory mood. Riddle me this. What's there when it's gone? And gone when it's there?
I would say, not very good for the radio, but silence.
Very good, very good. Perhaps you're more than just a mellifluous voice. And there's been an unusual silence in certain corridors lately. Particularly around a certain someone's cell. The absence of something expected can be more significant than its presence, wouldn't you agree?
Are you talking about the Joker? We'll be interviewing him later.
Will you now? Huh? He always saves the best jokes for last. You might say they're killer.
You keep on checking the time, Edward. Are you expecting something?
Time is the ultimate puzzle, Mr. Valentine. It moves only in one direction, yet somehow manages to circle back on itself. Particularly in Arkham, where yesterday, today, and tomorrow blur together in an institutional haze. But occasionally something breaks the pattern.
Well, we have a call for you, Edward. Let's see here. Gotham line 2. You're live on the air with the Riddler.
Hello? This is, Detective Montoya from, Major Crimes. Yeah, several cases from the last 5 years remain attributed to you, but unsolved. Now, one involved 3 bank managers who survived, but they can't remember the locations of certain safe deposit boxes. Were you responsible?
Detective Montoya. Always a pleasure. Your tenacity is admirable, if ultimately futile. Those poor managers. Such a riddle to them now, isn't it? Their memories contain the answers. Locked behind doors they can no longer find the keys to. Much like certain doors in this very institution.
What's that supposed to mean?
It means some locks aren't meant to stay locked, Detective. Some doors, once opened, release things that cannot be contained again. And sometimes, the key is simply knowing when to look the other way. You might want to consider which doors in your own department might have been left unlocked.
Are you threatening me? Is he threatening me, Vox?
A riddle, Detective. As always. The threat comes later, after the answer reveals itself.
Well, that was intriguing and somewhat ominous. Edward, we have another caller for you. Gotham Comm Line 3. You're live on the air.
Hello? Is this thing on? Is this where I can speak to Eddie?
Yes, ma'am. He's right here with us at Arkham.
Eddie? This is Sadie from Greenfield Apartments. You still owe 3 months' rent from back when you turned apartment 3B into that death trap. Now, I've been trying to track you down for ages, young man.
Sadie? How did you even know I was here?
Oh, I have my ways, young man. When I heard your voice on the radio, I nearly spilled my evening tea. And don't for once think I haven't noticed you took out all the light bulbs when you left. Plus that ridiculous question mark you painted on my ceiling. Do you have any idea how many coats of paint it took to cover that thing? The security deposit doesn't cover supervillain graffiti.
Mrs. Sadie, this is hardly the venue to discuss such trivial matters.
Trivial? You rewired the entire electrical system. The building inspector said he'd never seen anything like it. Had to replace the whole fuse box. And what about those booby traps in the hallway? Mrs. Finkelstein from 3A nearly had a heart attack when the mechanical hand grabbed her ankle.
I believe our interview is concluded. I have nothing further to say in the matter of residential disputes.
Well, there you have it, listeners. Even criminal masterminds have landlord troubles. We'll be back with our next guest after a short break. And Sadie, perhaps you might want to contact the GCPD's Victim Compensation Fund regarding your ceiling. Speak to you after this.
Do you need a job that matches your unique qualifications? At Arkham Career Placement Services, we specialize in finding employment for individuals with non-traditional backgrounds.
Do you have a PhD but employment gaps due to institutional stays? Chemical expertise but questionable lab safety records? Our counselors understand that everyone deserves a second chance, or third or fifth. We've successfully placed clients at major Gotham corporations, research facilities, and chemical plants with our Don't Ask, Don't Tell employer network.
Arkham Career Placement Services. Because your future shouldn't be defined by that one time you tried to flood the entire city.
Okay, and we're back. Now, ladies and gentlemen, our next guest requires special accommodations. Dr. Victor Freeze, known to Gotham as Mr. Freeze, is now entering the visitor area in a specialized containment suit. For those listening at home, the room has visibly changed. I can see my breath in the air now. Frost is forming on the edges of the glass partition. Temperature in the room has dropped dramatically. 4 guards are escorting him to his seat, each wearing what appears to be specialized cold weather gear. Mr. Freeze, can you hear me?
Your facility is inefficient. The temperature regulation systems have been malfunctioning for days. The east wing fluctuates between 62 and 77 degrees, with the north corridor maintains a steady 58. Something is drawing power inconsistently.
Dr. Freeze, thank you for joining us. For those unfamiliar with your background, you were once a respected cryogenics researcher at Gotham Corp before an accident transformed you into your current state. Is that correct?
There was no accident. My condition was the result of corporate interference into my research to save my wife, Nora. I was attempting to cryogenically preserve her until a cure could be found for her terminal illness. When Goth Corp attempted to shut down my project and steal my research, I was exposed to my own experimental compounds. The result you see before you.
For our listeners, Mr. Freeze, his appearance is striking to me. His skin has a blue-white tint, and his specialized containment suit includes various tubes and mechanisms that seem to be maintaining his body at sub-zero temperatures. He speaks through some sort of voice modulator that gives his words a mechanical quality, though occasional emotional inflections break through.
My external appearance is irrelevant. Only my research matters. Only Nora matters.
Now, you've mentioned the temperature regulation systems. Have you noticed other unusual occurrences at Arkham recently?
The maintenance tunnels beneath the East Wing have been unusually active. At night, I hear sounds that should not be there. Footsteps when no staff are scheduled. Laughter echoing through vents that connect to empty rooms. And certain sections of the facility have experienced unexplained temperature fluctuations. Some areas freezing cold, others unusually warm. This pattern suggests deliberate manipulation rather than system failure.
I see. Do you have any theories about these irregularities, Mr. Freeze?
Only that there is a storm brewing inside these walls. Colder than any I could create. The guards' behavior has changed. They check certain areas more frequently, avoid others entirely. Something has disrupted the routine of this place.
And I guess in a facility like Arkham, routine is rather important, isn't it?
Structure is everything. When it begins to crack, what leaks through is rarely benign.
We have a caller for you, Victor. Let's see here. Gotham Com, line 4. You're on the air.
Hello, Victor. This is Gregory Wilson. We worked together at Gotham Cryogenics Research Unit before everything. It's been quite a number of years.
Gregory, it has been a long time. You were one of the few who understood the importance of my work.
I wanted to let you know that they're demolishing our old lab next month. Some developer brought the property, and I thought, well, I thought you should know in case there were research materials you'd stored there. I've been trying to salvage what I can of the old files and equipment.
The auxiliary cold storage unit. My early research notes on cellular preservation. Did you recover the crystalline structure analysis from the lower laboratory? The formulations?
Yes, some of it, yes. It wasn't easy convincing security I had authorization. Victor, your work was groundbreaking. What happened to you? To both of you, it was criminal.
Dr. Wilson, if I can butt in here, in your professional opinion, was the doctor's work, the research, legitimate science?
Absolutely, Vincent. Yes, Victor was years ahead of anyone in the field. His cellular preservation techniques have informed current cryogenic research worldwide, though few would publicly acknowledge it due to his current status. What happened to him, what Goth Corp did, it was criminal. Not the other way around.
What men will do when systems fail them. Sometimes the line between victim and villain blurs like frost on glass. You still work in the field, Gregory?
Yes, I'm at Gotham University now. A smaller lab, smaller budget, but no corporate oversight. We're making progress, Victor. Slow, but real.
Perhaps someday you might visit my Nora. She has been alone too long.
I'm sorry, we have another caller. Gotham Com Line 5. You're on the air.
Hello. Am I speaking with Victor Freeze? This is Janice from Gotham Power and Light Customer Service Department.
You are calling here?
Yes, sir. So, I'm following up on the outstanding balance at 2813 Arctic Avenue. Now, according to our records, your power usage is approximately 300% higher than similar properties in your area, and we haven't received payment in, 18 months. So today, I'd like to offer some energy-saving tips for running refrigeration units more efficiently.
You do not understand. My equipment is necessary for my survival and the preservation of my wife. The power consumption cannot be reduced.
I completely understand, sir. That's why I'd like to enroll you in our budget billing program to help manage these costs more effectively. We also offer our Winter Warriors program for customers with medical cooling needs. We just need a doctor's note explaining your condition.
A doctor's note explaining that I must maintain sub-zero body temperature at all times.
That would be perfect, sir. We can also discuss our solar panel installation options. So with your energy usage, you'd break even on the investment in just around 7 to 10 years.
This conversation is pointless. I have been in Arkham Asylum for the past 16 months. Whatever power consumption you're monitoring is not mine.
Oh, well let me update our records. Would you like me to transfer the account to your current address?
Thank you for the call, Janice. Guards are now preparing to escort Mr. Freeze back to his cell. The frost on my side of the glass is now starting to thaw, which I must admit comes as a relief. We'll return shortly with our next guest. We'll be back after this.
Are you dealing with unexpected structural damage to your home or business? At Kane Construction, we've been rebuilding Gotham since before the first costumed vigilante swung from our rooftops. Our rapid response teams are trained for everything from minor bat-shaped window damage to complete building collapses caused by oversized plants. Our proprietary chemical neutralization process removes those stubborn laughing gas stains that other companies won't touch. And yes, we do work with all insurance companies, including those special Gotham-only clauses. Kane Construction will be there faster than you can say, "Holy property damage, Batman."
And welcome back. Listeners, I'm now looking at Harvey Dent, also known as Two-Face, entering the visitor area. And for this interview, he's being provided with a specially designed suit, half standard prison orange, half pinstripe suit to accommodate the duality of his condition. Visual effect is striking, particularly given the severe scarring on the left side of his face. He's flipping the infamous two-headed coin repeatedly, as the guards secure him to the chair. Can you hear me, Mr. Dent?
Skip the fashion commentary, Valentine. But we appreciate the consideration regarding the suit. You recognize the importance of maintaining both aspects of our appearance.
Mr. Dent, before your transformation, you were Gotham's district attorney, widely considered to be on track for the mayor's office, perhaps beyond that, and many still remember your campaign slogan, "I believe in Harvey Dent."
Harvey Dent believed in the law, in justice, in the system, until the system failed him. Until he learned that true justice isn't blind. It sees everything. The good, the bad, and makes no pretense of fairness.
Mr. Dent, if you don't mind me saying, you appear unusually agitated. Is everything okay?
Everything's wrong in this place. There have been irregularities in the security rotations. Guards where they shouldn't be. Others missing from their posts. The night staff in C Wing has been replaced 3 times this month. No explanation given.
And, have you noticed anything unusual?
Yeah. Laughter. At night. Laughter coming through the ventilation system. The Joker's cell is in a completely different wing, but somehow he hasn't been right lately. More wrong than usual. And that's saying something.
Well, how do you mean?
You know the Joker operates on chaos. But there's usually a pattern to it. His own twisted logic. Lately he's been calculating. Watching, planning. You can feel it in the air. Like the static before lightning strikes.
Well, seems like some alarm is going off in the distance here.
I told you, Vincent. Something's coming. I can feel it. Both of us can. Head says it happens tonight. Tail says it already started.
We have a caller for you, Mr. Dent. Gotham Comm Line 6. You're live on the air.
Harvey, it's James Wilson from the DA's office. We worked together on the Falcone case. 5 years of building that prosecution, remember that?
James? Yeah. You were a good prosecutor. Honest in a city that punishes honesty.
I just wanted to ask, do you think rehabilitation is possible? Is there a way back for Harvey Dent? The man I knew would never give up on justice, even after what happened to him.
Harvey Dent
is dead. There's only Two-Face now. Though sometimes I hear him screaming to get out. In the quiet hours, when the asylum sleeps. He still believes in Gotham. Fool that he is.
The new DA has been talking about reviewing your case. There's a chance you might
Save your breath. Justice, Gotham, is as two-faced as I am. The storm coming tonight isn't just outside these walls. Something's stirring. Something in the maintenance tunnels. I've heard it. We've all heard it. Footsteps, whispers. Fear that has a sound. And it's getting louder.
Well, thank you for your call, Mr. Wilson. Let's see here. We have another call on the line. Line number 7, you're live on the air.
Hello there. This is Marjorie Blakely from the Gotham City Bar Association Ethics Committee. Am I speaking with Harvey Dent?
Yes.
Excellent. Now, Mr. Dent, despite your condition, your law license has never been officially revoked. And I'm calling to inform you that you've fallen behind on your mandatory continuing legal education credits. You currently need 36 hours to maintain active status. Plus, there are considerable late fees.
You're calling about my CLE credits? I'm in Arkham Asylum.
Yes, and we've been quite understanding about that. However, ethics requirements don't cease due to incarceration. The Bar Association has standards to maintain, Mr. Dent. You of all people should appreciate that. So, yes, here it is. It looks like you've been scheduled for an ethics hearing at your earliest convenience to address these deficiencies.
Is this a joke? This is absurd. I literally held the mayor's aide hostage last year.
Well, that's certainly on the agenda for discussion as well. Item 3, under professional conduct violations, right after failure to maintain client trust accounts and improper use of coin flips in legal decisions.
I'm sorry. I think Mr. Dent is at a loss for words. Thank you for your call, Miss Blakely. Before we move on to our next guest, let me get an update here. Yes, an update on the weather. The storm I mentioned has intensified considerably. Lightning is now visible through the high windows, and thunder rattles the old sections of the asylum. The wind has picked up dramatically, howling around the Gothic spires and turrets of Arkham's architecture, sound that's particularly unnerving in this setting. I'm also noticing increased security activity in the corridors visible from my position. Guards appear to be receiving information through earpieces and moving with greater urgency than earlier in the broadcast. There's a tension in the air that wasn't present when we began. We've just experienced a brief power fluctuation here in the visitor center. The emergency lighting activated momentarily before the main power stabilized. Okay. Two-Face is being taken away. And, yes, here comes the warden.
Just checking in, Mr. Valentine. Everything proceeding satisfactorily?
Quite interesting so far. Yes, we're still on schedule for the Joker interview to close the broadcast.
Yes. Everything's proceeding according to schedule. Security protocols are being implemented as a precaution due to the storm. Nothing to be concerned about. Standard procedure during severe weather events.
If you don't mind me saying, you seem rather concerned, Warden.
This facility requires constant vigilance, Mr. Valentine, particularly on nights like this, if you'll excuse me.
And with that less than reassuring update, let's try to move on to our next guest. I can see the guards preparing to bring in Dr. Jonathan Crane, better known to Gotham as the Scarecrow. Dr. Jonathan Crane, known as Scarecrow, is now being brought into the visitor area. Unlike our previous guest, Dr. Crane wears no mask or costume, yet his gaunt appearance and unnervingly intense gaze arguably make him the most disturbing presence we've encountered tonight. Crane is tall, unnaturally thin, angular features, penetrating eyes seem to be analyzing your deepest fears, even through this reinforced glass. He's wearing the standard Arkham attire. Somehow makes the institutional clothing look like a deliberately chosen costume. Going to try communication now. Can you hear me okay, Mr. Crane?
How fascinating. I can sense the fear saturating the building tonight. It's delicious. Yours has a distinctive flavor, Valentine. The dread of the unexpected. The fear of losing control. Your carefully orchestrated broadcast. Quite different from the guard's fear, which tastes of immediate physical danger.
Dr. Crane, you were once a respected psychiatrist specializing in phobias. And before turning your research toward weaponizing fear, what drives you to terrorize Gotham?
Terror is such a loaded term. I prefer to think of my work as illumination. Everyone wears masks, Valentine. My toxins simply reveal what's hiding underneath. The businessman who projects confidence but harbors deep insecurity. The politician who champions family values while fearing exposure of his own corruption. The radio host who smiles through interviews
while treading the moment his carefully constructed persona might crack.
That sounds more like a rationalization than scientific inquiry.
Science without application is merely philosophy. I apply my findings directly. No bureaucratic approval processes. No ethical review boards with their limited vision. Fear is the most primal human emotion. The most honest. Strip everything else away, and what remains is the truth of who we really are.
Can I ask you a question? Have you... Some of the previous inmates have noticed that there might be some unusual activity at Arkham recently.
The staff have been exhibiting classic anxiety responses. Elevated pulse, dilated pupils, excessive perspiration. Their fear has a distinctive flavor. Not fear of the inmates, but fear of something coming. Something they can sense, but cannot see. Fear of the unknown is the most potent variety.
And what about the Joker? Our other guests have mentioned hearing his laughter throughout the facility.
Yes. Echoing through the walls at odd hours. Curious. Considering ourselves are in separate wings. But perhaps not so curious. Fear changes perception, Valentine. Makes you hear things, see things. But sometimes, what you fear is real. Sometimes, the monster under the bed is actually there, watching, waiting.
Security protocol implementation in progress. Security protocol implementation in progress. All non-essential personnel report to designated safe zones.
Well, that sounded rather urgent. We have a caller for you, Dr. Crane. Gotham Com Line 8. You're on the air.
Dr. Crane, this is Thomas Reynolds from Gotham State University Psychology Department. I've studied your publications on phobia response, and I must say your methodology is fundamentally flawed. Your sample sizes were too small, your control groups inadequate, and your conclusions drawn from limited clinical trials.
Flawed. My research has revolutionized our understanding of fear. Your petty academic constraints are what limit true scientific breakthrough.
Your early academic work showed promise, but your current experiments are nothing more than sadism masquerading as science. Real research requires ethics, peer review, reproducible results. You abandoned those principles when they became inconvenient to your increasingly disturbed hypothesis.
You understand nothing. Fear is the only truth right now. I can sense fear patterns throughout this facility. Distinctive, directed, purposeful fear. Someone is orchestrating it. Can your precious peer-reviewed methodologies explain that?
Can your ethics committees quantify the particular quality of terror that precedes catastrophe?
Okay, I think we might cut that short. Thank you for your call, Dr. Reynolds. Let's see here. We have one more call. Comline 9. You're live on the air.
Hello, Dr. Crane. This is Harold Winters from Ace Pharmaceuticals. I've been trying to reach you about an exciting career opportunity.
Excuse me?
Our company is extremely impressed with your innovative approach to neurochemical research. We're looking for someone to head our alternative treatments division, and your name came up in our talent search. Your papers on chemically induced emotional responses were groundbreaking.
I'm sorry, Mr. Winters. You do realize Dr. Crane is currently incarcerated in Arkham Asylum for mass poisoning and numerous counts of attempted murder.
Oh, yes. We value thinking outside the box. His unorthodox methods are exactly what we're looking for in our competitive environment. We offer a competitive salary, comprehensive benefits, and a generous research budget with minimum oversight. Though I should mention, we do have a strict drug testing policy, so if that's
While
something...
I appreciate the interest in my work, Mr. Winters, my current research requires certain ethical flexibilities your corporate environment likely cannot accommodate. However, I would be interested in discussing consulting possibilities, perhaps focusing on anxiety medication development, rather than my more experimental applications.
Wonderful. Well, we could arrange for interviews once your current situation resolves. We believe in second chances at Ace Pharmaceuticals.
Interview's over. We need to move him out.
The fear is peaking. Something is happening. He is coming. Can you feel it, Valentine? The air is thick with it. Everyone in the building is terrified, except one person. The one who should be locked away.
Well, Dr. Crane is currently being taken away, and now it's time for what we've all been waiting for. Our interview with the Joker himself. I can sense increased security measures being implemented. There's at least 6 guards visible. They appear to be wearing additional protective gear. There is a palpable tension in the air. And I must admit that after our conversations with the other inmates, I'm feeling slightly apprehensive myself. Storm outside has reached its peak. Lightning is flashing almost continuously now. Well, it's appropriately dramatic for our final interview of the night. The security door is opening and...
Mr. Valentine. I'm sorry, we have a situation.
What's happening, Warden?
The Joker, he can't be located anywhere in the facility.
I'm sorry, what?
Initial cell check showed what appeared to be him sleeping, but it was just pillows and clothing arranged to look like a body, and further investigation suggests he may have been missing for up to 12 hours. We're implementing full lockdown procedures immediately.
How is that possible? The security in this place.
We're investigating that very question, I assure you, but right now our priority is containment and your safety. Initiate full lockdown. I want every inch of this facility searched.
Deploy all available personnel to every perimeter. No one leaves the ground.
Listeners, it appears that Arkham staff have just discovered that the Joker appears to be missing from his cell. Alarms are sounding throughout the facility, and I'm being told we need to end the broadcast immediately.
Sir, we need to evacuate now. This is not a drill.
I'm being escorted toward the exit, but I'll try to keep the broadcast as long as possible. The situation appears extremely chaotic. I can hear announcements over the PA system directing all inmates to remain in their cells, though given what we've just learned about the Joker, that instruction seems somewhat optimistic. We have another call coming through.
Don't answer that call. Please don't answer that call.
I'm going to take one more call before we end the broadcast. Hello? You're through to midnight in Gotham.
Hello, Vox. Loving the show tonight. Your interview technique really brings out the best in people. Especially loved what you did with Crane. He's so serious about his work, don't you think?
You're on the air. Where exactly are you calling from?
Oh, I've been enjoying the broadcast from a cozy little spot within Arkham. You didn't think I'd miss my own interview, did you? Though I prefer to be the one asking the questions, like, what happens when an asylum realizes it's lost track of its star patient? What happens when security protocols designed to keep people in suddenly need to find someone who's already out? What happens when the punchline comes before the joke?
Have you been out of your cell this entire time?
I've been out for a while, actually. Your radio show made the perfect distraction while I finalized some renovations to the facility. I've left some gifts throughout Arkham that shouldn't be unveiling themselves right about now. Perfect timing. Always leave them laughing. That's my motto. Oh, and Vox, that pizza you so rudely refused, it wasn't poisoned or booby-trapped or anything so pedestrian. It was just some dinner. Well, dinner and a detonator, but mostly dinner. A condemned man's last meal should have extra toppings, don't you think?
Mr. Vox, we need to go now.
Don't worry about Voxy boys. I made special arrangements for our radio star. After all, what's a show without a proper finale? Tune in next time. Same bat time, same bat channel. Wait, wrong show. Oh, well.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Marcus King at the WGCR studio. We've, you might have heard, but we've just lost contact with Vincent Valentine at Arkham Asylum. reports are coming in of a major security incident at the facility, with GCPD units responding as we speak. Now, we're also receiving unconfirmed reports that Batman has been spotted heading toward the asylum. Now, let me see here. The preliminary information I've got in front of me here suggests there have been, there's been multiple explosions within the facility. We have no details yet on casualties or the extent of the damage. Now, Commissioner Gordon has just issued through a statement asking all Gotham citizens to avoid the area surrounding Arkham Island until further notice. So, yes, we'll continue to monitor this developing situation and provide updates on Mr. Valentine's status as they become available through the night. Our thoughts are with our colleague and all staff at Arkham Asylum during this crisis. But for now, we're ending our live broadcast from Arkham. This is WGCR, the voice of Gotham, signing off. Stay safe out there. Good night, everybody.
You're listening to WGCR, Gotham City Radio, the voice of Gotham since 1945. Broadcasting from our studios in the historic Wayne Tower. With our special guest host tonight, Marcus King.
Well, good evening, Gotham. This is Marcus King, and you're listening to a special edition of Midnight in Gotham. I'm broadcasting tonight from Studio A, where exactly 1 week ago, you might remember we lost contact with my colleague Vincent Valentine during what began as a routine interview series at Arkham Asylum. I won't lie to you listeners. This past week has been the most difficult in my 23 years of broadcasting. For those who missed last week's broadcast or the subsequent news coverage, let me recap the events in detail, because the full scope of what occurred that night is only now becoming clear. So, Vincent Vox Valentine was conducting live interviews with several high-profile inmates at Arkham Asylum: the Riddler, Mr. Freeze, Two-Face, and Dr. Jonathan Crane, more commonly known as the Scarecrow. Now, the interviews were proceeding normally, if you can call conversations with Gotham's most dangerous criminals normal, when the facility experienced what officials initially described as a power failure and security breach. Then the broadcast ended pretty abruptly at 12:30 a.m. when power was cut to the visitor center, and what followed was 18 hours of radio silence. Literally, no contact from Vox, no word from Arkham administration, no response from emergency services, who were, as we later learned, were unable to penetrate the facility's compromised security systems. And at 6:47 p.m. the next day, the GCPD announced that the situation at Arkham had been resolved with assistance from what they termed additional resources. We all know they meant Batman. Vincent Valentine was found alive, but traumatized in the facility communications center. 12 staff members were hospitalized, a doctor, a night psychiatrist, and a guard captain, Thomas Williams, who is still in critical condition at Gotham General Hospital. Now, the official damage assessment lists infrastructure destruction valued at over $15 million, including complete reconstruction of the security grid, replacement of the communication systems, and structural repairs to 3 separate wings of the facility. The psychological evaluation reports alone span over 300 pages. But those are just numbers on insurance forms and medical charts. The real damage to our city's sense of security, to the families of the injured staff, to everyone who was listening that night when everything went wrong, that's incalculable. The Joker, who we now know orchestrated every moment of this incident. He remains at large despite what Commissioner Gordon describes as the largest manhunt in Gotham's history. FBI behavioral analysts, GCPD's Major Crimes Unit. And what our sources suggest was extensive personal involvement from Batman himself have so far have been unable to locate him. And tonight, for the first time since his rescue, we're joined by Vincent Valentine himself. Vox spent those 18 hours documenting his experience through methods we'll discuss here shortly. He's been under medical observation and police protection since Wednesday, but he specifically requested to tell this story himself, in his own words, to the people of Gotham. And so I want to say, Vox, thank you for joining us. I know this isn't easy for you.
Oh, thank you for having me, Marcus. And thank you to everyone who's reached out. The letters, the phone calls, the support has been overwhelming in the best possible way.
Well, let me say it's so great to have you here. How you holding up?
Honestly, I'm not sure I know yet. The doctors at Gotham General say physically I'm fine. Some dehydration, minor cuts, bruises from being moved around the facility, but nothing serious. No broken bones, no lasting physical damage. Mentally, that's a work in progress. I've been seeing Dr. Martinez at the trauma center daily.
I think, you mentioned you've been staying with family outside the city.
My sister is in Star City. I haven't been able to sleep in Gotham since that night. Every sound seems amplified. Every locked door feels inadequate, Every person in authority, security guards, police officers, even hospital staff, I find myself wondering if they can really protect anyone. Or if they're just as vulnerable as the rest of us.
It sounds like a natural response to trauma, to me at least.
Maybe, Marcus, maybe. But it also sounds like something else. Like having illusions stripped away. And that's actually why I wanted to do this broadcast tonight. Despite the doctors advising against it, my family didn't want me to do it.
Why do you think Why was it important to you to speak now?
Because, silence serves his purpose. The Joker's purpose. What he did that night was, well, it wasn't just about taking over Arkham, or proving he could escape whenever he wanted. No, it was about demonstrating something to everyone who was listening. Something about the nature of security, authority, and the structures we depend on to keep us safe. If I don't tell the story, details get buried in the official reports and legal proceedings, and then his message becomes the only one that's heard.
You mentioned that you have some recordings from your time in captivity.
That's right. After we lost contact with the station, I kept my portable recorder running. It was an old habit from journalism school. Professor Morrison used to say, if you're not recording, you're just having a conversation, and conversations can be denied. I thought if something happened to me, at least there might be evidence of what really occurred.
At what point did you realize this wasn't a standard security incident?
Almost immediately. The guards who escorted me from the visitor center weren't the same ones who had brought me in earlier that evening. Different voices, different mannerisms, different levels of tension. Real security personnel dealing with a genuine emergency have a particular kind of controlled urgency. These people were too calm, too satisfied with the situation.
And you're prepared to share those recordings with us tonight?
Well, selected portions, yes. I've listened to all 18 hours multiple times this week, working both with police investigators and Dr. Martinez to identify which segments provide important information without being unnecessarily traumatic to broadcast. There are parts I'm not sharing.
What did you leave out?
The parts where I broke down. Where I begged. Where I wasn't the professional. Wasn't a professional, composed person. Your listeners know. My listeners know. And, some things he said about specific people in Gotham. Some of those things, personal information he shouldn't have had access to, threats that are still being investigated. Police are working hard to understand how he obtained some of that intelligence.
Okay, so before we begin with the recordings, I should inform our listeners that WGCR has a legal counsel present in the studio tonight, and we're broadcasting with a 7-second delay as a precaution. The recordings you're about to hear contained disturbing content, strong language, and hand descriptions of psychological manipulation that some listeners may find upsetting.
First recording begins at 12:47 a.m., just 17 minutes after we lost contact with the station. At this point, I I still thought we were dealing with a standard security lockdown. I was completely wrong. Let me just play this.
Main power is out throughout the visitor center and adjacent areas. Emergency lighting is activated. Those harsh fluorescent lights make everything look like a horror movie set. The guards are escorting me through corridors I didn't even see during the facility tour. Something's fundamentally wrong. These aren't the same guards who brought me into the visitor center 4 hours ago. Okay, they brought me into what looks like a communication center or control room. Banks of security monitors showing static or empty corridors, radio equipment, phone systems, computer terminals. One of the guards is laughing. Not nervous laughter, something else entirely.
Did you really think those walls were keeping me in, Vox? May I call you Vox? Vincent seems so terribly formal for someone who's about to get the exclusive story of a lifetime.
You're supposed to be at maximum security. In your cell. How are you
supposed to be? Oh, that's rich. Absolutely delicious. I've been wandering these halls for days, sweet Vincent. Weeks, maybe. Time gets so wonderfully fluid when you're not constantly watching clocks and schedules. But tonight felt special. All those lovely listeners hanging on every word of your charming interviews. Thousands of people tuned in to hear Gotham's most dangerous criminals, and here you are, getting an exclusive interview with the most dangerous of them all. Time to give them a real show, don't you think? Time to demonstrate what dangerous actually looks like when it stops playing by society's arbitrary rules.
The alarms. The guards running around. What did you do to the guards?
Nothing permanent to the good ones. Well, mostly nothing permanent. A little customized fear toxin here for the claustrophobic night supervisor. He's having an absolutely wonderful dream about being buried alive in a progressively smaller space. A little blackmail there for the gambling addict in C-Wing. I have such detailed photographs of him at the racetrack when he should have been visiting his sick mother. Some old-fashioned bribery for the truly corruptible ones. Amazing how many people have been struggling with medical bills, mortgage payments, children's college tuition. You'd be absolutely amazed how many upstanding citizens will look the other way for the right price. Or the wrong threat. Everyone has something they don't want revealed, Vincent. Everyone has someone they want to protect more than they want to do the right thing. Security is just... It's just a bedtime story, isn't it? Something to help Gotham's children sleep peacefully at night, while the real monsters roam free in the dark. Don't worry, little ones. The bad men are all locked away safe and sound behind the big walls and the big strong doors. What a delicious, absolutely necessary lie we tell ourselves.
Vox, listening to that recording, the casual way he talks about manipulating people, having detailed knowledge of staff routines and personal information, how long do you think he was actually planning this takeover?
Based on what he revealed over the course of that night, and on what police investigation has confirmed, at least 6 weeks of active preparation. Possibly longer. The behavioral analysis teams thinks he may have been collecting intelligence for months. Maybe since his last incarceration began.
What kind of intelligence?
So guard schedules, shift rotations, architectural layouts, maintenance schedules. But also deeply personal information about staff members, their financial situations, family problems, medical issues, personal relationships. Things that would require extensive surveillance or inside sources to obtain.
How did he get access to that kind of information from inside a maximum security facility?
That's still being investigated. But the working theory involves other inmates. Every person who's ever had a visitor, lawyer, or family member visit Arkham has been observing the security procedures for months or years. They see which guards are strict, which ones are lenient, who shows up late, who takes long breaks, who seems distracted or stressed.
So this was a collective intelligence gathering operation?
Whether the other inmates knew they were contributing to a larger plan is unclear. But the Joker understood something that all the security consultants missed. Institutions aren't just vulnerable to external attacks. They're most vulnerable to patient, systematic observation from within by people who have nothing but time.
In this next recording, he takes you on a what he calls a guided tour of the facility. This is about 2.5 hours into your captivity, and it reveals the true scope of his control.
Yeah. Let me just play the next bit here.
Come along, Vincent, that's it. Come along. Let me show you the real Arkham. Not this sanitized, carefully choreographed version they show to reporters and politicians and concerned citizens. Here we are. Maximum Security Wing C, where they keep the most dangerous inmates. The ones society has decided are too unstable, too violent, too unpredictable to ever be released. Except look around. Empty cells, unlocked doors, freedom available to all who want it. Edward's in the library reading some philosopher, always so pretentiously philosophical, our dear Riddler, still trying to prove he's the smartest man in the room, even when the room is empty. Harvey's in the cafeteria, flipping his coin, trying to decide whether to order the Tuesday meatloaf or the Wednesday fish special. There is no Tuesday meatloaf or Wednesday fish special, of course, but decision-making has never been Harvey's strong suit. Poor man can't even choose whether to be angry about his situation.
Where are all the guards? The other staff members? The doctors?
All around. Some are locked in supply closets, having wonderful dreams. Others, they're in the staff break room playing poker with cards I provided, enjoying an extended break from their tedious duties. I told them all to take the night off, to enjoy themselves. Stop pretending they have any real authority over anyone. The true loyal ones, and the Boy Scouts who couldn't be brought, blackmailed, or chemically persuaded, they're huddled in Warden Reed's office right now, probably calling frantically for backup on phones that won't work because I've jammed all the communications in and out of the facility.
How many people have you hurt tonight?
Hurt? Such a wonderfully subjective term. Have I caused direct physical injury? Minimal. A few bumps and bruises during the initial takeover. Have I caused psychological distress? Oh, absolutely. But that's just educational, isn't it? Sometimes people need to experience genuine, primal fear to understand how artificial their sense of security really was. You know what's truly hilarious, Vincent? Really, genuinely, knee-slappingly funny? I told everyone they could leave hours ago. All the inmates, all the cooperative staff, even you if you choose. The doors are open. The alarms are just for dramatic atmosphere. The external security systems are completely under my control.
But they're not leaving?
That's the punchline, Vincent. That's the absolute pinnacle of comedy. Even without the bars and locks and armed guards. They're still prisoners. They're sitting in their familiar cells, walking the corridors they know, following routines they've internalized over months or years, waiting for someone, anyone, to tell them what to do next. Authority, Vincent, is an addiction, my dear radio friend. Remove external control, and people don't feel liberated. They feel lost. They feel terrified. They'll create their own cages, because the absence of structure is more frightening than imprisonment.
That recording is from about 2:30 a.m. When he talks about the other inmates in that clip, what was their actual behavior during this period?
It was surreal, Marcus, to be completely honest. Completely surreal. Most of them were genuinely confused by the situation. And the Riddler was indeed in the library, but he seemed more fascinated by the intellectual puzzle of how the Joker had orchestrated everything. He kept muttering about elegant, systematic solutions and beautifully executed vulnerabilities, is what he said. Harvey spent hours in the cafeteria, unable to decide whether to leave or stay. Every time he flipped his coin to make a decision, it would land on its edge, and I later learned that was because the Joker had given him a specially weighted coin designed to do that exactly.
What about Two-Face specifically?
Harvey was paralyzed by indecision, which is exactly what the Joker wanted to demonstrate.
And the more dangerous inmates, Scarecrow, Mr. Freeze?
Scarecrow was actually terrified, which should tell you everything about how abnormal the situation had become. This is a man who weaponizes fear for a living, who's made a career out of understanding and manipulating terror. I believe he was scared. Not of violence or chaos, but how easily their structured, predictable world had been dismantled.
What was he afraid of specifically?
I think it was the unpredictability. Scarecrow thrives on controlled fear, his fear. But this was uncontrolled chaos. Variables he couldn't predict or manage. He kept talking about compromised experimental conditions and uncontainable psychological factors. Like, he was more upset about the disruption of institutional routine than concerned about the immediate danger.
And Mr. Freeze's reaction?
Victor never left his cell at all. Not that I saw. When I asked the Joker about it later, he just laughed and said something about optimal temperature differential and emotional detachment. I think the real reason was that Freeze understood what was happening better than the others. He realized this wasn't about escape or freedom. It was about psychological demonstration.
So they were essentially free to go, but chose not to.
Yeah, that's what makes this so psychologically disturbing, Marcus. The Joker didn't need to keep them imprisoned. He'd created a situation where they imprisoned themselves through habit, fear of the unknown, dependence on institutional structure. You understand something about human psychology that I don't think we've really worked out yet.
We're sorry we're going to have to take a short break now for our sponsors. When we return, we'll continue with Fox's recordings from that night at Arkham. This is WGCR, Midnight in Gotham. We'll be back after this.
Are you looking to make a statement? Do you need a professional look for your nighttime activities? Visit Mask Crafters, Gotham's premier custom mask and costume design studio. Whether you're fighting crime or, well, committing it, we provide discreet, high-quality craftsmanship for all your identity-concealing needs. We offer rush orders for those spur-of-the-moment career changes, and our payment plans accept cash, cryptocurrency, or stolen jewels. No questions asked. Mask Crafters, because in Gotham, everyone needs a secret identity.
Some assembly require, not responsible for psychological changes that may occur after prolonged mask wearing.
Welcome back to our special edition of Midnight in Gotham. I'm Marcus King, and we're continuing our conversation with Vincent Valentine about his 18 hours of captivity during the Arkham incident. The next recording jumps ahead several hours. What happened during that time?
He gave me what he called the complete educational tour. Every wing, every security checkpoint, every area that should have been completely inaccessible to inmates. He wanted me to see the full scope of his control, document it, understand that this wasn't luck or a momentary security lapse. This was total systematic domination of an institution that was supposed to be impregnable.
You want to know the punchline, Vance? The real, genuine, absolutely perfect joke that'll have all of Gotham rolling in the aisles when they finally understand it. This isn't about escape. This never was about escape. It's about demonstration, about revelation, about showing Gotham, showing you, showing everyone who was listening to your charming little interview program exactly how paper-thin civilization really is. All those locks and walls, security protocols, surveillance systems, armed guards, theater, elaborate, extraordinarily expensive theater designed to create the comforting illusion of safety while accomplishing absolutely nothing meaningful when someone decides to stop playing along.
But it does work most of the time. People don't escape Arkham regularly.
Because most of the time, people choose to follow the rules. Not because they're physically prevented from breaking them, but because they've been psychologically conditioned to believe in the legitimacy of authority, the permanence of institutions, the reality of consequences. The ideas in our minds. You know what's kept me locked up here for the past 14 months, Vincent? Not the reinforced doors, or the electronic surveillance, or the armed guards, or the chemical restraints. Habit, routine, the comfortable, beautiful, predictable rhythm of institutional life. 3 meals a day, scheduled recreation, mandatory therapy sessions, lights out at 10 p.m.
But people died tonight. Guards, staff members with families. Families who are waiting for them to come home.
People die, Vincent. People die every single night in Gotham. In car accidents caused by drunk drivers. Heart attacks brought on by stress and poverty. Random street violence. Despair. Loneliness. And the 1,000 small cruelties of urban existence. At least tonight's casualties served purpose. They illustrated an important point about the nature of our world.
At that point, Vincent, how were you holding up psychologically?
Well, I was beginning to understand that this wasn't going to end with a conventional rescue or prisoner exchange. He didn't want ransom money. He wasn't making political demands. He didn't even want traditional freedom. He wanted to prove a point. And I was his captive audience. Quite literally.
When did you start recording everything systematically?
I think around 6 or 7. Initially, it was just instinct, documenting what you're witnessing. But as the night wore on, I realized these recordings might be the only evidence of what happened if I didn't survive. The act of recording also helped me maintain some psychological distance from what was happening.
It's been almost 18 hours now. I haven't had food, water, in over 12 hours. The Joker has been different for the last few hours. Less manic, much less manic, more focused. Somehow that's more frightening than laughter.
Oh, he's here. Can you feel that, Vincent? That absolutely delicious tension in the air. Like the moment before lightning strikes. You know the moment when all the hair on your arms stand up.
What are you talking about?
Our dark night. Batman's arrived to restore order to chaos, justice to injustice, sanity to madness, right on schedule. Do you understand the beautiful irony? He's here because the demonstration worked. Because proper authorities couldn't handle one clown with basic understanding of human psychology.
Where is he, Joker?
Right here. We've been having enlightening conversations about security and civilization's fragility.
Let him go.
I'm not keeping him. The whole demonstration's been about voluntary compliance.
Staff, people are still hiding. Valentine, stay down. Secure the facility. Medical teams to all sectors. Valentine, are you injured? Batman, is it really over? Yes, it's over. For now.
The relief when you heard Batman's voice.
It was strange. I indescribable. For 18 hours, nothing worked as it should. Batman represented functional authority again.
Do you think the Joker's demonstration was successful?
That question keeps me awake at night. Because in a horrible way, yes. He proved one determined person could dismantle institutional security. He showed our safety is largely psychological.
You mentioned something about strange communications this week.
Yeah, hang-up calls, blocked numbers. I'd pick it up and sometimes I'd just hear breathing, sometimes laughter. I don't think we should answer that.
Our studio line is ringing here, folks. I'm being told to...
Well. Wonderful interview. You told the story beautifully, Fox.
Where are you?
Everywhere and nowhere. Gotham's riddled with hiding places, Fox. The demonstration is complete. Everyone listening knows the truth now. I've planted doubt in every listener's mind. Every time they lock the doors tonight, they'll wonder if those locks matter.
You've killed people.
I've revealed truths, Marcus. Wouldn't you rather know your house is built on sand than live in ignorant bliss? Well, someone's traced this call, but remember, there is no perfect protection. Your security is only as strong as your weakest link. And everyone is someone's weakest link.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're ending this broadcast. GCPD is responding as we speak.
I think he's right. He's right about security. It's all in our heads. If he can call while the city still searches...
Don't let his manipulation get to you, Vox.
It's not manipulation. It's true. It's true, Marcus. Oh, God. I gotta get out of here.
Gotham City Radio, the voice of Gotham since 1945.